So there's a moderate or bearish case out there, the uranium bull bear case, I'll call it, where basically the price would go to 50 and then stay there for a while. Well, not forever, but for a long while basically everyone that can produce at 50 does, and before the price moves up. So here in this video, I will discuss why that is seeming less likely for a number of reasons. Now, as I said way back and in the early part of this series, I used to kind of come to uranium for the ride to 50. And I used to think that it was possible, perhaps partially logical, for a prolonged period of 50. So the price moves to, I don't know, you could call it 45, you could call it 50, you could call it something in that area. And then you get the return of the idled supply, and then you have all of a sudden uh, something approaching balance, and that could stay for a while. But as time goes on, I'm thinking that's less likely, and I'm thinking that's less likely for a number of reasons that I will discuss here. So why is it less likely? Well, there's two main reasons. One is permitting, and the other is exploration. Firstly, permitting. So if you look at all of the projects that could work at $50 uranium, most of them are in the Athabasca Basin. And we've been through this in one of the prior videos. Permitting in the Athabasca Basin, not necessarily that quick. So the low-cost projects are potentially further out, and they don't seem to be moving forward super quickly at this point because A, there's no rush, B, good luck rushing a government. So that's the problem with permitting. The problem with exploration, and this is I don't know if it's a problem yet. Nobody does. Because when the price gets to 50, how much exploration do we get? If it's anything like it is today, well, then it's going to be a problem. If it's anything like it was when the price was 100, then it might not be a problem. The point is, it's going to depend on how much money is in the ground and what gets found. Because we're at this point, or at some point soon, companies are going to start looking past the end of their projects that they're ramping up, past Cigar Lake. What then? There's some more. Past whatever gets ramped up to fill holes that come from Ranger, Cominac. What's next? Market is going to have to start looking at that, and if it can't find enough, and if all it's finding is in Canada, where that could be a long lead time, well, it's going to need to find a lot. The outlook is also going to be a big deal. So we'll have to see what happens at 50. Now, as I said, either way, whether we put, it's possible, $100 million go in the ground and nothing gets found. It's also possible $1 million goes in the ground and we get 100 million pounds. There's no way to know at this point. But the fact is we use a certain amount of uranium every year, and the fact is at this point we're finding much less than that. Now, again, if you put a hole in the ground and find arrow, well, then you find a lot of uranium. But over the past few years in the basin, which has been the center of the exploration recently, there's been maybe four big deposits in the past 10 years. And now they're on to the development and permitting. And so even in development at 50, who knows how long it will take, but it could take a long time or it could take a short time, but all of that depends on price. And my point is about 50, I don't know how much of a hurry developers are going to be in at 50. So it depends on price and sentiment. And if the sentiment remains depressed, well, then eventually we're going to have questions. And as I said, for Cameco, Are you really going to try and cap the price at 50? I questioned in the past why you'd want to do that, but okay, you get your cash flow when most other people don't. Maybe you can make some money. But then again, you have three projects, Millennium, Kintyre, and Yeelery. I love saying that, except when anyone's listening. But the point is, those three, if all three get ramped up, that barely replaces Cigar Lake. And by the time all three get ramped up, well, goodbye, Cigar Lake. Then what? So my main point about why I don't think we go to 50 and then stay there for a very, very long time while the market just kind of acts super logically and takes all the low cost pounds that it can is because if we don't get higher, you're going to have a bunch of companies looking at the future demand and thinking, well, we can produce for the minimum amount now and make a little bit of money, or we can look down the line, see all the projects, because most projects you can kind of see one way or another, either a public company or in, Urano, maybe Uranium One, Rosatom linked, and you can see what the demand looks like it's going to be, and really people will start looking and thinking, okay, then what? Thanks for watching, everyone. If you've made it to this point, I applaud you. If you enjoyed, you might also enjoy the other episodes in this series, and they will be all out eventually, and probably some have been released already. As always, nothing I say is investment advice. This is all just what I'm seeing, how I'm thinking about the sector, and what I view as relevant. So with that, I will leave you there and have a great day.